Hi, I'm Yesenia, the one and only.
And I'm Kiki here.
And together we welcome you to our new and exciting show,
Threesome.
Threesome. And I know what you may be thinking, but it's not it. Keep it clean,
Exactly.
but not too clean. Muy
Exactly.
picante.
This is not only a show, this is a whole experience. Here we talk to our guests about their journey, their career, their business ventures, anything they have coming up in the future, and of course, some juicy questions.
Yes. So, of course, we have some sizzling questions lined up. And with a twist, our guests picks them out themselves, so you won't want to miss it.
Exactly. Our guest here today is a
Yes,
very
our,
special guest.
yes, our special guest today is a celebrity photographer, a journalist, and an entrepreneur, founder of Nubus Photo, and co-founder of followback.com.
And in 2022, he became the first Afro-Latino photographer to have his photos displayed by the Grammys.
And without further ado, Johnny Nunez.
Hey, everybody. Come on, y'all.
A round of applause.
Nice to meet you, ladies.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for coming.
Great show title, by the way.
Thank you so much. So let's just kind of dive into it.
Sure.
You know, you're a legendary person. You've gotten so many compliments by everybody.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. I just really like to photograph, and I just happen to work with a lot of legendary artists and just new artists that are coming up. It's been my little niche or lane, so to speak.
Love that.
So speaking about your niche, I know you're very in tune with your faith. Can you talk about how praying led you to become this legendary photographer that you are?
You know, I'm not perfect, but everything I do, I put God first in everything, and that's the secret to my success. You know, if you think that you went to school, got PhDs and all that, that's great to have, but ultimately, no door will open for you, and at least in my book, unless you put God first. And that's why, you know, I travel the world, work with kings and queens, presidents, executives. You know, I never went to school for photography. I just asked God for an idea, and the rest is literally 27 years later history.
Wow.
I helped out a lot of careers of artists
Wow.
by just supporting them, and this is before social media, so
Yeah.
that's why, like, when you see me on my Instagram, Johnny Nunez Instagram, you'll see artists like embrace me and say Johnny, because I photograph their journey, and sometimes as you get more and more popular or more successful, the rooms change, the team changes, people change, and it's harder and harder to see someone that you can trust, B, that was there from the beginning and still there. So it's a bit of what's the word? It's serendipitous, you know, that you wind up seeing the same person, and then that just, if you're into neurotransmission like I am, neurotransmission is basically every thought, every smell, everything you see, everything you hear, everything you touch. There's a neuron associated with it. So like books in a library or books on the shelf in a library, each memory from the time you were born to even right now, there's a memory associated with this moment. So with that being said, when the artist or the individual sees you, it forces their mind to remember the first time they seen you. When, next up, SOBs, please welcome, and the flashes go off.
Yeah.
Now they remember in that one split second, they remember you were there, and then you get embraced.
I love that.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that.
I read a book called Unlimited Power. Actually, a Haitian group of my friends in Long Island. I was very down and depressed, and I was about to get into a sort of crime. And my friend Jean, Patrick, and Gael, and Kelly, they all invited me to their cousin's backyard barbecue. and I was at the lowest part of my one of the lowest parts of my life, and things were not going well. I was living in a car and delivering pizza for Pizza Hut, and I was a home health aide for elderly people, but because I was a male home health aide, they didn't give me good. It's not that they didn't give me good people; they gave me the clients that harass women. So it was a nightmare. But anyway, I said it to say that I went with them to the barbecue, and I was on my Malcolm X vibe at the moment, and I was complaining about the way American society was, and their cousin, who was Haitian, she married a brother from Africa. His name was Vince,
Nice.
and he said, Johnny, I think you're going about this hatred and anger the wrong way. I don't think people are bound to be evil because of their race. I think people, it's the individual's thought, how you wire yourself or how you're wired. And he said, "Come with me, Johnny. I want to show you something." He brought me to a library in their house. Vince was a smart man. I can't wait to thank him one day. He gave me Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. He gave me Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Green, and some book on the law of karma. So I didn't read any of them, but no, I mean I eventually did. But
Yeah.
the first book I read,
Time.
Girl rich.
first book I read was called Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. And once I picked that book up, that's how I learned about the neurons and the
Neurotransmission.
neurotransmission.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my career. In the book, it talks about what we would consider manifestation, but it explains how to some extent, if your mind sees what you want, and
You can associate with that.
well, yeah,
into
but what happens
existence.
is you tell your mind, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do,
Yes.
and
You have
it
to
tell-
feel it before it comes.
yeah, and it says even if you're not where you want to be, you can fake it,
Right.
make
Make it till you make
Yeah.
it.
And I think a lot of people rely on the
Yeah.
thought of manifestation. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like your brain is actually wired to go after things that you want if you, put in that work and if you continue to surround yourself in those
Exactly.
environments.
That's exactly what I did. And so, in that book, there was a chapter where it said, stop what you're doing at this very moment and look in front of you where you want to be in 5 years.
So it was like a message you needed at the moment.
Yeah.
Going through.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was
So
I was cause I was going to get into violence. I was going to get into extreme. I don't even want
Yeah.
to use microphones.
Yeah.
I was going to get into some really dark parts of life, which I thank God I didn't.
Thank God.
But in the book it said,
Out.
see where you want to be in 5 years. So when I turned the page, it said, stop. If you didn't think about where you want to be in 5 years, turn the page back to the previous
back.
page and
Yeah.
read it over again. So I was working in a factory on a conveyor belt, a very dangerous conveyor belt, and it was chopping things, and I pressed the button, and the conveyor belt stopped, and everybody started screaming, and I looked at the wall, and I saw a private jet. I saw fashion models walking down
Wow.
the runway. I saw Naomi Campbell. I saw Puff Daddy. I saw Jay-Z, and I was like, and I heard my German boss screaming, "Who the hell are you? What the fuck did you do?"
Yeah.
And he said, "If you ever do that again, I'll kick you out of the factory on your ass by myself." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I thought I saw something." I had the book hidden, so you couldn't
Yeah.
see.
Wow.
But the next thing I know, like by the end of that year, I made $98,000. But this is in 1997, so $98,000 back then was like
Huge.
Yeah.
about
no, of
two
course.
and a half racks a day.
Yeah.
So then and then by the time I entered my second year, I was now, or the third year, I was now the personal photographer to Jay-Z, the personal photographer to Naomi Campbell,
Wow.
personal photographer to Puffy. Everything I envisioned in that moment.
You've seen it. And it
Yeah.
happened in 3 years.
Yeah.
Less
That's
than 3 years.
amazing.
Less than 3 years.
I feel like God works in its mysterious
Oh, yeah.
ways, and
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a little moment for you to see
Mm-hmm.
what your future holds, and it's so crazy. So, in a nutshell, without God, you're nothing. So, we're gonna go on a quick break. But we'll have more of Johnny Nunez coming up that you won't want to miss.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here with Johnny Nunez, Mr. Johnny Nunez.
Hey.
We were just talking about how he got started with his journey. So yeah.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question. Who was your favorite capture? And tell us a little bit about the photo.
Oh,
I feel like that's a hard
It's a
question.
tricky
So many.
question.
You've taken so many.
like Fat Joe and Big Pun, or Jay-Z and Nas.
Wow.
I think like when I took a photo of Jay-Z and Michael Jordan when they didn't know each other, and I went and asked Hove if I could, get a photo of him with Michael Jordan, but he didn't want to move. He was like, "You asked that man right there." It was at Capital on Bowery Street, and so I went over to Michael Jordan and I asked, "Excuse me, Michael, mind if I get a photograph with you and Jay-Z?" And he was like, "Sure, where's he at?" And I was like, "Right over there." And I was like, "Jay, Michael." And then I caught the pictures and I wound up getting the shot. But my client at the time saw how I made that introduction, and she immediately went, "Oh, hey, everybody, hold on now, Jay-Z, this is Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan." But it was too late. I already made the introduction.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say I was able to shoot two of the best of the both worlds, athletics and music.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next question that comes together, which is tell us about the Nas photo.
Oh, the Nas photo? Well, it's Nas with Jay-Z. It's the two of them, basically toasting with a Biggie Small shirt on. And it's like, for me, the trinity of hip hop. But
Yeah.
it's on DJ Khaled's wall in his house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
And there's so Art Basel's coming up in December in Miami.
I'm going.
I'm gonna have an exhibit more than likely with a few different artists like Pookie, and 3 or 4 years ago I did a collaboration with Domingo Zapata and Enrique Cabrera, who's also known as Kiki, and we did some artwork together from my photos. They were able to paint over it, and
That's cool. So
Awesome.
so like you've already kind of touched on, you've already captured so many historic moments and you've elevated so many careers by connecting people like you just talked about. What was one project or collaboration that you say was your favorite that came about?
Well, 3 weeks ago, Jean-Michel Basquiat's estate commissioned me to curate hip hop photos of mine to go with Basquiat's art. So at the Zipper Hall in California, 2 weeks ago, I had my first show with the Basquiat estate. It was awesome.
Wow.
It was
Awesome.
moderated by
That's iconic.
Yeah, it was fun. Ari Mulber was the moderator. You had Dougie Fresh, Yo-Yo the MC, Just Blaze DJ, and there was another female vocalist. Oh my God, what's her name? It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last week. So that was definitely historic, just like the Grammys. And now I'm officially one of the VMA photographers.
Nice.
Trying to break down barriers that were never permitted or not allowed us in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
just now, I just came from California,
Nice.
and I was at this. I shot the dinner and the gala for a new organization that came about during COVID. To basically,
The BMAC, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, shout out to my man Prophet. Him and his constituents. I'm looking for it now. Him and his constituents came up with this idea. Willie Prophet. His last name is Stiggers. They now, with this organization, are trying to get companies to recognize and fund a lot of black music programs,
Nice.
Yeah.
because some of these organizations have made billions of dollars
on the back.
Off. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also saw that they also strive to like end systemic racism within the industry,
Yeah.
which is huge
Oh
because
yeah. Oh yeah.
the hip hop community, hip hop culture comes from Black and brown people, so
Yeah.
it's only right for us to be in those rooms when it's definitely well deserved.
Which brings me to my next question, which is about breaking barriers. You just got an award from Trailblazer.
Well, the Harlem Fashion Road Trailblazer Award.
Yes, and there was other nominees,
Yeah.
and you were the winner. Tell us about that. That's a pretty big deal.
They were honoring a lot of. Actually, they honored a Haitian designer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she got the Designer of the Year award. They also honored a female African American editor of a fashion magazine.
Wow.
Okay.
If you go to my Instagram, you can see the names of them.
Yeah.
And then they honored myself. I had the person to present my award was Alicia Butterfield Jones. She's one of the executive heads of Google. So she came out and showed me love. She was one of the executives of the White House during the Obama administration in PR. She was at Uber. She was at Google. Then left, came back. So I had her present me. And then ASAP Rocky was presented with a fashion award, I think.
Wow, and that's huge because I think it's about like.
Well, Kelly Rowland got the fashion award, and then ASAP Rocky got some kind of award.
Well, he deserves one because he's very fashionable. Yeah, like
It's such a big deal.
Yeah, I heard that like less than 1% of fashion designers are like being sold are Black and brown people. So that's huge that they even have.
All of fashion is black and Latin.
Yeah.
This is just a lot of. I guess you could say it's sort of like with colonialism, you have a 500-year head start. And I always mention this, and for the listeners, the Statue of Liberty was never a European, fictional goddess from the Greek mythology. It was actually a Haitian black woman breaking the chains of slavery. And the French artist who made it, he made that statue to honor the Haitian people, not in America, but the Chinese Revolution was inspired by the American Revolution. The American Revolution was inspired by the French Revolution, but the French Revolution was inspired by the Haitian Revolution. And that was his way, the French artist's way of thanking the Haitian people. But once New York City found out, wait a minute, it's a black woman? Uh-oh.
Yep.
Turn that back.
Switch it up.
So they had to break down and send the statue back to France. And it was for money, so it wasn't a gift.
Right.
But if you look at the shackles on her feet, the chain goes up the dress to nothing.
Wow.
And in his I don't know if it's autobiography or his book, he explains that it was in honor of the Haitian people. Wow. So when you look at the Statue of Liberty, you have to understand, you have to thank Haiti for having the guts to destroy demonic colonialism.
Right.
No,
Like it became a chain reaction. Now you had the poor French killing the I don't know what you want to call them, but the oppressors.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I love how Johnny Nunez brings the history and everything and all the facts. We will have more of him and with some juicy questions coming up. So stay tuned. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to Threesome. We're here with Mr. Johnny Nunez.
Yes.
Okay, so now we had a very good discussion about, a little history, little worship session.
Yeah.
Now
gonna talk about
some spicy
questions. We have here
if you're not ready, you have to take a shot.
Yes, we have here in our clutch purse here. Let everyone see it. 3 questions that we have for you to choose from.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm going to shake it up for you.
All right.
Shake it up. Shake.
And you get to make sure you read the question out loud.
Sure.
And if you don't answer with details, again, shot o'clock.
Jesus.
Okay.
Hold on, I can't even open it. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
All right, you're welcome.
So I'm going to close my eyes.
Yes.
Yes.
Just dive right in.
Are you ready?
I'm I'm ready.
Read it out loud. Answer honestly, please.
Okay, this is a question. This is a spicy
Uh-oh,
question.
uh-oh.
My glasses on. I'm getting old. All right, here we go.
It's all right. I need him over here too.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the statement, once a cheater, always a cheater?
Good question.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. It can be true, but it can also, I think people can evolve. I think people can also change their lifestyles. I have a lot of friends that were in the streets,
Outside.
had tons
They
of
change for a little bit. Do
Yeah.
you feel like they change for a little bit and then they go back to who they really are? Because I feel like, why would you cheat in the first place if you're not that way? I feel like you could just leave the person, do what you have to do, and then come back to it.
Well,
Why
back
do it
into a
and hurt
committed
someone that
relationship.
you actually love?
Well, I guess the best way to describe that aspect of human nature is it's the individual, it's the willpower, and it's the definition of love. Basically, I believe that people can have some form of redemption. If you were outside back in the days and you were young and you were crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and
But
you
isn't
Yesenia doesn't
that-
believe that.
No,
She
yeah,
thinks-
isn't that who you are?
well,
Not
when
you.
you're when you're when
Eventually.
you're when
I
you're
know.
young when you're a young man or young woman,
It goes through
You-
stages, but that's
yeah,
still
you
who
go through
you
stages.
are.
But at some point, if you're like me, you get married, and then you have children, and scientifically, there are certain genes that your body releases. Not genes.
Like
There's certain
pheromones.
no. There's certain chemistry that the body
Energy.
releases that makes the male become more of a protector and a provider, and a mother more of a protector and a nourisher. So these are chemicals that are already in your DNA. But once a woman is pregnant, it's like as if the chemistry is talking to one another, the male chemistry and the female chemistry, and you form a home for the child.
So you believe
I am-
that you change through with maturity, basically.
You have to, because if you don't evolve, you don't I joke around with some of my friends that do photography, and at the age of 52 that I'm at now, I don't want to be that.
Oh my God, you look so
65-year-old.
young.
I was gonna say, hold on.
I don't want to be that 70-year-old dude in a
Yeah.
nightclub, trying to take photos.
It gets old after a while,
Not only does it get old, it's
Men, they don't care. Any age.
Well, you see, and
Her personal opinion.
and this is no disrespect to anyone who comes from a single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were brought up with a mother and a father that were married and they loved each other and they put you through college and they made sure that you had everything you needed, that child can go very far. Unfortunately, in this country, those that have the power and have family infrastructure, they know how powerful having a mother and a father that are married raising a child is, versus if we could separate this family, if we could put the father in jail, if we could get them hooked on drugs, if we could make the school system cater to a different race that they understand that they don't even exist in our society, and we'll teach them about our president, and we'll teach them about the history of the world, starting out of Europe when it really came out of Africa. We are already forced a mind state. And I hate to, I won't say I hate to, but even in the music that the artists that we listen to make, it's almost like in certain states, certain sentiments, you're helping to create an ignorance.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to go out to nightclubs and B words and go to parole and go to jail and come back home and I'm a man and I'm a gang member and I'm affiliated with a gang. That's something that our race should never ever be talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's other races that want to see that debauchery so that we can't
we can fall.
continue to exist as a race, as a people, and continue as a minority in this country.
Right.
So,
And I appreciate a lot of. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I appreciate that a lot of your messages relate back to, like the history of Black and brown people and African Americans, and the true history and how we should be elevated, and we should elevate ourselves as well as it versus trying to.
If you like me, I grew up in a Catholic household.
Yes.
You would think Jesus was white,
Mm-hmm.
or you would think he was Arabic, but he was black.
Yeah,
That's how they portray
black
him.
and that's what they say in the Bible.
Moses was black.
Mm-hmm.
Noah was black. Enoch was black. David was black. Jacob, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as the Middle East because it's called North Africa.
Well, this is a
Wow,
conversation
this
for
is a
another
whole
day.
nother
So
conversation. Yeah.
The original
That is
Hebrews
pretty
came from West
deep.
Africa.
yeah,
So when it comes to whether it be the Ten Commandments and the Pharaohs, which were black, not Arabic,
Wow.
and the Hebrews that were enslaved, it was basically black on black crime.
yeah,
This is the origins of some religions
mm-hmm.
that started in Africa, not in any other part of the world, not the Middle East, or Now when I see a white guy like this,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up thinking that was my savior.
yeah,
My mother-in-law would say it's not the color, and it's not. But for us, psychologically,
Yeah.
you think that Jesus is white and that God is white, or
so you start to associate.
Yeah.
and then
But-
And it works on all ends.
Yeah, I agree.
It works on all
But
ends.
the
at
more we talk about it, the
Of
more we
course.
get to break down how colonialism is a systemic form of racism that till this day, if we don't change those educational books to show who really started algebra, who really started mathematics, who
Yeah.
really started
Yeah.
language, alphabets, it's not even about who or what race did what, because all of society, all of world society, or every country gifted something to humanity.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
of course.
it's when you have our entire educational system
Built
based
around.
on
Yep.
demonic colonists
Yeah.
that did nothing for Native Americans,
Yeah.
that did nothing for our African ancestors, but kill, murder, steal, and for 500 years capitalized
Mm-hmm.
on the life and death of our ancestors.
Yes,
And
I
still
agree.
capitalizing systemically
But
in a different
So
form.
we gotta,
Yeah,
we gotta
for sure.
basically gotta break it down.
Yeah, no, but at the end of the day, we do believe in God, Jesus, and Mary. We're Catholic, Christian, whatever your religion is. At the end of the day, there's a higher power, which is God. And we are delighted to have you in our show. You were amazing.
Yes.
Tell everyone where they can find you, all your social medias and things like that.
Sure. My Instagram is Johnny Nunez, JOHNNY. Nunez is NUNEZ, and I also have a lemonade that just came out.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
lemonade. I
Mighty
love
Joyful
lemonade.
Lemonade.
Okay.
So
Yes,
if you get a
with
chance,
liquor. Can't wrong.
go to well, not liquor. But you can add
No,
liquor to it.
well, before we wrap things up, just give us some advice, for any aspiring photographers out there, aspiring celebrity photographers. What does it take to be
Yeah.
a celebrity photographer?
First, find what you like to photograph.
Mhm.
If you like music, go to venues, develop a relationship with the security, bartenders, general managers, and if you can find the owner, develop a relationship, photograph them, give them photographs, get your foot in the door,
Yes,
Right.
and
of
then
course.
work on it.
Okay. Love that.
And tell us a little bit about your kids taking over now. I know that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, so my
Tell us a
son
little
and
bit
my
about
daughter
that.
both love photography, but they don't
they're
love
gonna
it like
take
I
over.
do, but they're really good. And my son is part of an exhibit that's ongoing now called Faces of Harlem.
Okay.
It's on Morningside between 100 and 10th Street all the way to like 125th Street, and it
Oh, wow.
features
Wow.
photographs taken by children, young adults.
Stay tuned.
And my daughter
Yes.
just was in a brand Jordan Nike sneaker campaign.
I
on my
love that.
Pretty big
Oh,
deal. They're about to take
congratulations.
over.
And she does
Yes.
photography.
Yes, love that.
Well,
But-
thank.
You know,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
just for you, just for everybody here listening. I just met these two beautiful ladies, And
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see that you ladies, or rather than work for someone, you rather work for yourselves,
Yes.
or have a partnership with others like-minded, so that you could inspire and help communities, and hopefully get sponsorship so you can get some money.
Yes.
There's a lot of corporate companies out there that realize the wrongs of their past and want to, fund, sponsor, and give money to black and brown organizations, companies. And so there's websites out there that can give you money. There's brands like Heineken, Pepsi, Target, Wonder Bread. I don't know. They
Yeah,
all
tons
want to
of
give back,
brands.
because not everybody is happy about the past. Some of them are ashamed, and some of them also are just woke and realize the history that was fed to us was also fed to them. So, some of my best friends are white, some of my best friends are Jewish. So this conversation isn't to blame or point fingers. This is to say that evolve and educate yourself. And in the meanwhile, as we stay woke and work together,
Yes.
everybody will see the lies that we were taught. It's not cool to be out in the field and get girls pregnant and not
Yeah.
get married to them. And
Mm-mm.
it's not cool to go to the nightclub and spend your whole entire paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not cool to join a gang and kill your own race.
Yeah.
These are things that other races want us to do. That's
Right.
why they allow the guns and drugs into the community.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't bring it onto their side.
Yep. Because then that's when it becomes a
Yeah.
problem.
Horrible.
So thank
well,
you.
we want to thank you
Yes. Thank you
for
so
being
much.
here with us.
And
We
thank you
love
for educating us and educating our
Yes.
audience. 'Cause
Anytime.
these
Yes,
are
yes.
very,
It was amazing.
very insightful discussion. And we
Yes.
will definitely carry on this discussion on our socials. So make sure you guys are watching.
Yes.
Yeah, Oscar got me excited because he was like, "Yo, we going to this house. We're gonna have a threesome." I'm like, what?
Threesome.
Word.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
God.
No, I'm
Yikes.
just
But
joking.
we technically did have a threesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we did.
anyways, we love
Just some
you.
conversation.
You
Good
were
conversation.
very
Gotta clear that up.
yes, you were very historical, very, smart, very knowledgeable. And I hope you guys that are watching learned a lot
Yes.
because this was amazing.
And for you aspiring photographers out
Yes.
there, remember to make your connections. Try to get tapped in with the, owners of the spot. Make,
Yes.
Make your connections meaningful, and don't just,
Yes.
Like what Johnny said,
100%.
don't
Find
just
a niche.
Yeah, find a niche and
what
stick
it's
to what
all
you're
about.
you're good
Mhm.
at. And yeah, we'll see you guys
And
next
if you're
time.
natural, you're natural. We see you next time.
Bye.
Love you
Bye
guys.
now. Thank you.